Well, The Watchers is an underwhelming cinematic experience to say the least. I thought this one was going to be good, but when it was all said and done, I was just bored by it, and quite frankly, a lot of this movie is quite forgivable as well. Directed by Ashana Knight Shyamalan, who is making her directorial debut. I have to say, I've always been impressed with directors' children taking up the mantle of being a director themselves. So going into this movie, I didn't know what to expect. Was it going to be as great as some of M. Night Shyamalan's films throughout the years? Or was it going to be an outright disaster? And well, to answer that question, this one was mediocre in my opinion. I thought the concept was cool. A young artist gets stranded in a forest. She's trapped alongside three strangers where they're surrounded by a whole bunch of creatures that are watching them, hence the title, The Watchers. But when the film was over, I was left quite disappointed to say the least. Plus, there is lack of tension or suspense. This one isn't scary whatsoever, and the dialogue between the characters are just downright awful. Ultimately, though, this one just didn't do it for me. I found it dull, and quite frankly, it was also very generic as well. Now, what do I think about the characters? Well, to be honest, the only character I had liked was Mina because she gets the most character development. Dakota Fanning does a good job portraying this character. And speaking of acting, I thought the acting from the other three actors, it was pretty bad. Daniel wasn't interesting, neither was Sierra or even Madeline. The more this movie went on, I cared less about them. And yeah, I'm not familiar with the novel of the same name, but it's gotta be more interesting than this entire film. It's Night Shyamalan, not bad for a directorial debut. This one could have been much worse. I did like some of the premise of what this film was going for though. The cinematography looks great, and it had that eerie look to it. Even though the twist near the end was predictable, I wouldn't say this one was an outright disaster. But I still was bored by it. I didn't really care about the other three characters like I mentioned beforehand. And ultimately, I was just saying that's it. The movie ends on that predictable twist. Still though, not one of the worst movies I've seen this year, but it's not really special either. If anything, I think when people look back on this, they're going to say it was a interesting start for this young female director, but ultimately, a lot of this one falls flat on its potential promise on how much more better it could have been. I'm giving this film a 5 out of 10. Yeah, honestly, I can't recommend this to anybody just because it's not exciting enough. The Watcher's origins are eventually explained, but it's so lazily done that it makes the whole film come off as uneven. It's a shame considering this could have been a great horror movie, but the lack of strong character development along with the story being a bit of a mess as well makes this another film to come out this year in the horror genre that didn't fully deliver on its premise. And that's my review of The Watchers. Alright, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie if you have seen it. Okay, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.